One of the odd things about doing human rights work in the United States is that in this country, the concept of human rights tends to be focused on issues and problems that exist outside of our country. And what's fascinating about that is exactly not how the term is meant to be used, and that's exactly not how the term is used in Europe, for example. In this country, we use a term civil rights as the sort of stand-in for the rights-based claims that around the world tend to be associated with human rights. Although in fact, and we talk about the civil rights movement as being one of the defining recent historical events that proves that our country and our society is committed to a rights-based vision of defining people's, defining equality, protecting equality, advocating for equality. Interestingly, though, civil rights is a subset of the larger world of human rights, and I think we're going to see some changes in the way human rights is used in the United States that will be positive for all of us, and positive for institutions like the International Human Rights Law Institute, where I work, but also positive for our society in a much broader sense. I think we're going to see our country, over a period of time, begin to use the term human rights the way it's meant to be used, which is to say, in a manner that defines basic rights-based claims the same way around the world as enshrined in basic international conventions. And even though the U.S. has not signed all of them, it has signed quite a few of them and tends to, in international environments, claim to be supporting of human rights. And I'll give you a very concrete example. We have a big healthcare debate on right now in the United States. I personally believe that the nature of the debate would be different and probably more productive in a lot of regards if people in this country used the human rights framework and the human rights language to talk about healthcare. That is, if healthcare was viewed as a right. It is, in fact, a right under the international human rights system. The system doesn't define exactly what that means, what particular benefits you're entitled to, etc. But it's clear that healthcare, like education, like a vast series of other rights, are human rights, and that in some ways is the only sensible way to understand an integrated vision of human rights, since of course health and education are central to any conception of human dignity, just as the kind of political freedoms that we embrace through the term civil rights are. I think we're going to see this change. I would like to think that institutions like ours will help push for that change, but I think it's inevitable in the expansion of human rights, and I think it is one of the more exciting areas of human rights advocacy today in the United States, which is to say, to help Americans use the international human rights system, its language, its vision, its conceptions, to help to make sense of domestic issues.